We are a nation of 50 million fans around the world, more than 50 million. Zico's campaign apparently had an effect. The information coming in is that around 5 p.m. this Monday, the UN, in a global joint release with Flamengo, will publish something along these lines about Flamengo being a cultural nation. Look, we're all really excited. The first soccer club in the world to be declared a nation, a true nation. Spectacular. Let's wait for the official announcement. So far, it's just leaks, but it looks like all of this will happen this afternoon, and Flamengo will be officially declared a nation by the UN. So, what do you think about that? Roll the intro. Complaints after the game. They're asking for a penalty. They don't show it, obviously. The absurd sending off of Andre from Corinthians, they don't show it. Obviously, Flaco elbowing the Corinthians player, they don't show that either, right? Man, it's impressive what they're doing, isn't it? But Jose Boto's criticism of Palmeiras and even Cuca was spot on. Jose Boto's statement was really well said. Come on, man, there was whining at Fluminense too, didn't you? Our tricolor friend, Carlos Daniel, is complaining a lot about his club's management and everything else, saying that here, and another thing, he commented on our post that the crisis was created by Fluminense itself and not by Flamengo. No, Flamengo started the crisis there, right? Flamengo just started the crisis when they beat Fluminense yesterday. We also have a lot of information for you, and there's the CBF as well, reacting to everything that's happening with Palmeiras, all these absurd complaints from Palmeiras. We're coming in strong. Hey everyone, greetings red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're joining us, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, and leave a cool like on the video. We're here thanks to Caravana do Haroldo. You can secure your spot at Flamengo's games, Maracanã, with hospitality and tickets included at Maracanã and also outside Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. Amazing packages. For many years, Haroldo's Caravan has been serving you, Flamengo fans. Look, I'm still going to talk about the Caravan here. I want to thank the young supporters from Brasilia who sent this amazing gift, this beautiful Flamengo cap. Young Flamengo supporters, right? One of Flamengo's main supporter groups. There's Hovem, Raça. Hovem sent it to us. Man, it's spectacular. Beautiful cap. They sent the jersey, also sent the lanyard for the keys and all. Man, it's spectacular. Big thanks to Rodrigo. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the support. Man, I'm going to use it. That's cool. Always a lot of affection for Flamengo supporter groups. Check it out. So we have a package here to talk to you about. Check this out. UEFA Champions League LAN package. You can book with the Ibis Budapest or a similar hotel with breakfast and taxes included. Category 34 ticket for the grand final. Transportation, hotel, and stadium. Travel insurance kit, welcome package. So you could book with Haroldo's Caravan. Oh, but it's really expensive, but it's a dream. Sometimes a guy sets aside a part of his life to make this dream of a Champions League final come true, okay? Also with airfare included, there's a package from Haroldo's Caravan. You can secure your spot at the Champions League final. You can pay in up to 6 interest-free installments. Remember that in the package, the second one with airfare can be paid in installments on the customer's credit card. And the first installment includes the airport taxes. So, the explanation they give here, you can get in touch on WhatsApp 21996972016, 2199697, 21964049020. 021 964049020. 21964049020. It's always here. I also leave the QR code here. I include it in the description and pinned comment. My friends, so we have some information here for us to get started. I'm even going to retweet our friend there, Mango Cria, Daniel's profile here. Mango Cria posted our information here regarding Leila's pressure. It's worrying the CBF, bothering the CBF. There are a lot of complaints, and man, it's working in the opposite way. It's having the opposite effect. Instead of helping Palmeiras, this is making the CBF very annoyed with Palmeiras, which is a club that had a president who supported Sami Chout's candidacy. In other words, she's destroying everything she worked to build. It's a way people sometimes used to say that someone is destroying everything they've built. In other words, this closeness, this friendship that Leila Pereira built with Sami Chout, this friendship she built, she's managing to destroy. So the CBF is concerned about the pressure from club officials right at the start of the Brasileirão, especially from Leila Pereira and Palmeiras. The organization fears this atmosphere will worsen in the final stage of the competition and is already considering measures to contain the complaints. So that's our report. Palmeiras is learning from Botafogo, from the Whining. It's crazy, my friends. It's crazy. I'll tell you guys, it's unbelievable how much Palmeiras has been complaining. In fact, look, let me tell you something. I even reposted our friend CRF Matos here. Yeah. Look, we had already posted this here. Let's go. We also needed to talk about the elbowing incident. It's so much, man. So much going on. Look, Palmeiras looks like a spoiled kid who owns the ball. When everything is going well, great. When things go wrong, they take the ball and go home ruining football. The crybabies. Is that because Palmeiras posted that VAR didn't recommend calling the penalty on the play? They posted here complaining about the penalty claim for a supposed handball. I didn't see anything. No, it wasn't. Both of them kicked the ball together there. Then the people here tore a CRF. Without my penalty, I can't do it. Look at that. Look at that. Without my penalty, I can't do it. Abel is getting into Leila Pereira's head, crying, and she goes and cries along too. Actually, I think Leila gets into Abel's head, right? And he cries. Yeah. And then people use that. No, we only tied with 2 more players because of Flamengo, who changed the game day. This is a shame. So, man, Palmeiras complaining about the penalty. But Palmeiras forgot to mention it, right? Leila forgot to mention exactly the issue of Andre's sending off. The shameful sending off of Andre, the player, clearly adjusting himself. I made a video about this. The player was clearly adjusting his private parts there. He adjusted himself. And the Palmeiras players called the referee over there. Go, they asked, go. And they sent the guy off, man. The guys are running VAR now. What's this about? They sent the guy off. And then the penalty. Absurd. TNT Sports even showed, besides the penalty, that they wanted to make an absurd call against Palmeiras. They don't discuss this here, which was Flaco's sending off. Flaco's sending off. TNT Sports caught it. Look there, look there. Man, an elbow to the face, my friends. An elbow to the face. Come on, guys. An elbow to the face. Man, no way. Look, an elbow to the face. This here is even worse than that match with Carrascal. I don't know, but what an elbow to the face. They say it was an elbow against Corinthians. Against Corinthians themselves. That one where Carrascal got sent off. Yesterday, Carrascal even, man, I'll tell you, he's a repeat offender, right? But guys, it's unbelievable. And Palmeiras wants to complain and is bothering the CBF. Is that right? Look, we're also going to bring up Fluminense's whining here, right? They're complaining because the president of Fluminense, now they're even saying that the president of Fluminense has a membership in Flamengo's supporter program. He's a member of Flamengo's supporter program. But come on, guys, seriously, let's put it this way. If it's really true that the president of Fluminense is a member of Flamengo's supporter program, and I'm not going to be biased, that's normal. I signed up for Grêmio's, Atlético Paranaense's, and several other clubs' membership programs so you can play when another club is the home team. And the guy can be a member of the supporter program even because of the partnership at Maracanã to make things easier so he can buy tickets for his family. He can buy tickets for the mixed section Maracanã Mais. It's not crazy at all. I know several fans of one club who sign up for the fan club membership of another because sometimes there are more benefits with the other club's membership and they can secure tickets for certain specific games. So, that's it, man. I'm not going to criticize the guy for that. Now, as I said, I wouldn't do it myself, okay? You'd just be making things easier for the other club, right? I wouldn't do it. Now, Leo Pereira thanked him and all that. I just said this. I don't think BAP, that is, if Flamengo had to help in a way that would hurt themselves, they wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't help if it would hurt me. And that's what a lot of Fluminense fans are complaining about now. They're whining too much. They've crossed the line, right? And now they're already starting to suck up to Leila Pereira, and they're complaining a lot that Fluminense gave up, right? They ended up postponing the game, then Leila got involved in all that, and they're complaining that they lost. Luta Costa lost the game. And then we had the Fluminense player, Samuel Xavier, saying that the players had no say at all about this. It was decided beforehand, in other words, sending a message, complaining to the board. Yeah, people are saying here they forgot that in 2019 they asked to postpone because of the club elections. Only Flamengo agreed. Exactly. Man, why all the whining? If they'd won, everything would be fine, but now they're blaming the change. People say you're paid to play, not to share your opinions. Giving an answer to Samuel Xavier. Yeah. But let's go. Isn't it good for both sides? I don't understand this persistent whining. It's funny that the one who was more worn down was the one who ran the most. My friends, let's go. Yeah. In that situation, it was clear that the Fluminense players didn't agree. They say that the players had no say in this, putting even more pressure on the president of Fluminense. Now, let me share some important information with you. Carrascal is likely to be fined for the red card against Fluminense, okay? Journalist Pablo Rafael Rua reports Flamengo plans to punish Jorge Carrascal again after his red card in the derby against Fluminense. The Colombian had already been penalized in his previous paycheck for the red card in the match against Corinthians in the Supercopa do Brasil. As a repeat offender, he will be fined again for the same reason. Then Leonardo Jardim spoke about this situation involving Jorge Carrascal at the press conference. Because he talks about, look, let me get exactly what he says here, just so we can bring it up here. He talked about the altitude, about the postponement issue. Look, here it is, let's go.
I think some of those red cards aren't those actions thoughtless? Thoughtless actions, like what happened with Carrascal. I don't think he needed to do that.
There's no need for that.
Making that tackle like that. But it was the urge to win the ball because he barely even touched him. He did a scissor tackle, but if it hadn't been a red card, a yellow would have been fine too. Martini committed a foul that was more or less similar. In that case, yes. And he saved the guys. But that's it. The referee has the final say in these situations. But emotional control is definitely very important. Emotional control.
You have to have emotional control.
If you ask for a bit more drive, more aggressiveness, for sure the emotions are already running high. Moreover, we must control these emotions.
You have to control it. And I think you really have to find people, man, to avoid this kind of thing. Now, still talking about what was most annoying, Carlos Daniel and other Fluminense fans are annoyed. They're crying a lot. It's about Leo Pereira thanking Fluminense. Check this out. Check this out.
It got moved from yesterday to today.
It's a root question. Look at that.
How did it feel to have a more distant day after a complicated trip?
No, I think it was from Leticia.
I think the help from Flamengo and Fluminense was important. I think it's because we had that flight delay. And like I just said, we're very grateful that Fluminense accepted this request. I think it's important even for the sake of the show. First comes the human side, the athlete side, who needs this rest. We know how the Brazilian Championship and the Brazilian calendar are grueling for the athletes. So I think that if they show good sense on their part when they need it, we will also have it.
So when they need it, we'll have it too. Leo Pereira thanked them, right? And it ended up irritating Fluminense's fans. They're upset about this postponement. Let's talk about something good. The Spanish newspaper AS mentioned Pedro as a candidate for a spot on the Brazilian national team after a great performance. Okay. They stated that, according to the outlet, the forward once again became a strong option for Carlo Ancelotti this Sunday. The newspaper points out that Pedro's profile is different from the one most recently used in the national team, which could become an important advantage. He has to be called up, man. He's a beast, okay? According to the publication, Flamengo's number 9 is competing with Igor Thiago and Igor Jesus for a spot as center forward in the Brazilian national team. Man, I'm totally in favor of Pedro being called up. I want to hear your opinions, but I'm completely in favor of Pedro being called up. Yeah. Ooh. He said the following, Pedro: "Every milestone I reach at Flamengo is special and rewarding. It's a dream come true for me. One day I dreamed of this, and today was proof of it." Right? He also talked about the goal. "I saw that Fabio, left the box to kick. I thought that if the ball came, I would shoot. It was quick. I didn't even look at the goal. I finished well." I thought quickly about Fabio's mistake and finished well. As a striker, you always have to think about scoring, given the context of the goal. The top scorer of the century will be remembered forever. In my career, I don't know how many goals I've scored with my chest. I'd say more than 6. It's a move I think of as a resource to make things easier. There was no goalkeeper anymore, and I was able to finish in that situation. I finished well, but especially with Lino's pass, who crossed it with the outside of his foot, right? And there was Pedro's pass to Plata, which was also wonderful with the outside of his foot. An outside of the foot nutmeg that Plata ended up not taking advantage of, right? So it's about continuing to work to reach more milestones here at Flamengo and get called up, right, Pedro? Pedro there in an interview with TV Globo made it clear that he wants to be called up for the World Cup and is waiting for it. And he deserves it, right? He really deserves to be called up. Do you know who was at Maracanã? Diego Ribas was there with his oldest son. He watched Flamengo's victory. Yeah. Man, going to the stadium, that's cool, right, man? He's really tied to Flamengo. Look how cool that is, man. Look how cool this is. Diego Ribas in the Flamengo icon jersey I have too, right? It's wonderful, right, man? The original, now I think it's the icon. But, man, fantastic. Diego, man, the Flamengo jersey, man, really connected with Mengão, right, man? He became a Mengão fan, man. Impressive, sensational, sensational. Now, just to show you this, right? Arrascaeta's statement. We already showed you Paqueta's earlier. Arrascaeta's statement after the game as well. Let's see what Arrascaeta said.
A little bit of everything happened there. Once again, as captain, I wanted to get your take, man. How important was this win? With the team playing so intensely and giving everything, you even deserved a bigger win. Fluminense evened things up at the end. That's just part of the game. I was even making that gesture just now, feeling a bit more relieved. But man, how important was it to win today the way you performed, especially throughout almost the entire match?
For sure, that unfortunate event at the end of the game can't erase what we did today. It was a great match. We dominated almost the entire game. We suffered very little, that's the truth.
Maybe just a little bit now at the end, yes.
But it was a solid game. We did very well, very intense.
We could have scored again, but getting the 3 points matters most. They stayed with us.
Now we get ready for the next Libertadores match, which will be tough.
And how much of Leonardo Jardim's influence is already showing here?
Have you already felt Leonardo Jardim's touch?
You can't just talk about the first half. We were in the attacking half the whole time, right? Winning the ball back, even stacking up opportunities. How much of Leonardo Jardim's influence is already visible in this work after just 10 games?
Yes, maybe a slightly more intense team, right? Trying to attack more directly. As I said, we played well and could have scored again.
So, well, let's rest because there's more on Thursday.
So Raskai was just talking about that, right? About the intensity and all. And on Thursday, we have a really tough game. Flamengo, right? Tough game. A tough game, right? Libertadores. Flamengo winning. They go to 6 points, which is very important, right? Flamengo getting this win in the Copa Libertadores da America to start off with 6 points in the group, right? I think that's going to be decisive even for qualifying. Look, we also had another situation here to talk to you about. I think it's important for us to bring this up to wrap up our video. Zubeldia talking about Pedro, right? Zubeldia ended up talking about Pedro. I also forgot to mention Flamengo. Flamengo teased Fluminense by posting it's normal. Flamengo posted it's normal on their social media. Mengão wins, it's normal. Man, it's really good to see Flamengo teasing Fluminense. It's normal. We also used that term yesterday in our post-game. But I wanted to highlight Zubeldia here, right? He ended up talking about Pedro's goal against Fabio. He says the first goal is a bit of an accident, and also to Pedro's credit. How many strikers in that position finished like that? I remember Cano and Pedro. We have those two, maybe Gabigol. The second goal is a play that, statistically speaking, when the ball is in that area, it's possible for an unexpected cross to happen. They scored a goal like that against Santos. When the play seems dead, they lift the ball to Pedro, right? He's in great form, isn't he? In that play, it seems to me that we couldn't adjust quickly enough for the cross, but there was also quality in the pass. Lino's Trivela cross. And then comes Pedro's quality. He's a great striker. So Zubeldia is showering Pedro with praise. Obviously, he's talking about the mistake that happened on the first goal, but Pedro knew how to take advantage of it and made it clear that other strikers would definitely have missed that goal. He only believes that Pedro, Cano, and maybe Gabigol could have scored that goal. I don't think so, huh? I think Pedro, Cano, maybe just Pedro. Pedro has a lot of quality, right? Yeah. He also said that's how soccer is. The truth is, we didn't play well at all in the first half. He admitted it, spoke well. And when a team doesn't play well, one of the possibilities is that the coach is responsible. I take that responsibility, and I say this with total honesty, as always. The team wasn't good in the first half. In the second half, we tried, regardless of the names, to get back into the game and all that. We suffered 2 quick counterattacks, and even so, the team didn't give up. We adjusted the type of players a bit, and the ones who came on did well. We managed to score. We had the chance to tie. They could have increased the lead too. The game was open. It could have gone either way. Man, but sorry, Zubeldia, it could have been 2-1 tied or 3-1 Flamengo, but I'll tell you, it should have been more. Flamengo could have finished the first half with a 3-0 or 4-0 lead. Just in the first half, Fluminense got off easy. Zubeldia, Fluminense got off easy. Seriously. Fluminense fans complain he erred when Lucio left and should have put in Savarino. But that's it. I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications by clicking the bell, leave a cool like on the video. Thank you very much for watching Red and Black Readings. This is Flamengo. Coming up soon, there's Placar Aberto. And today I'll be participating in CS Sports. CS Sports on TV Connect here in the United States. You can download the TV Connect app and follow me at 2:30 p.m. local time here, 3:30 p.m. in Brazil. At 1 o'clock p.m. in Brazil, you'll join me on Placar Aberto, on Placar. Ilan is really upset, man. We're in this together. Thanks.